Welcome back, AP people. This is a multiple choice question for Unit 1, Part B. Again, there were 4 questions that several of you struggled with, so I'm just going to go through these real quick. The first one was number 7. You can see over here I have double D 0.25, I is 3, we're subtracting them, and then it's going to get cast to int over here. So of course I made my little chart, 0.25 for D, 3 for I, and then I subtract them and I get negative 2.75. And then over here, I'm going to cast it to int first. You notice the int's only affecting this part right here. If this left parenthesis had been before the word diff, I would have done the subtraction first. But since it's not, I'm going to take the integer part of the negative 2.75, which will be negative 2. It doesn't round it, it just takes the first part before the decimal. So negative 2 minus the 0.5 is negative 2.5. The answer is B. The next one we're going to look at is number 10. Let's see if I can get it all on here. All right, number 10. So num1 is 5, num2 is 10. We're dividing, and then we're just displaying that to the screen. They want a 0.5. Right now, the problem does not work because, again, I have integer division. These are integers over here. And so I want to divide them. And to do that, then I need to do integer division. And so right now I have 5 divided by 10, it's 0. I'm ignoring the 0.5. So it actually does not work as intended. If I cast the whole thing, which I think one of you picked that, if I cast the whole thing, I'm actually going to cast the 0 to a 0.0, so still doesn't work. So I need to actually cast one of the individual parts, or both of them actually. So I have to cast the num1 or the num2. So C. All right, number 11. Okay, so number 11, I have length 1, 2, and 3, putting them in total, and then adding a half to it, and then finding or casting that to an int. And it has to do with like rope and checking to see if the rope is going to match what they want. So basically, I took their 2 examples and put them in. This is supposed to be a 0.8. 2.8, 3, and 5, I get 10.8. I had the half to it, and it becomes 11.3. I take the integer part of that, and I get 11. So this one is correct right here. Sorry, I'm still getting used to my left and rights. They're backwards. And then the other example they gave was right here, 1.1, 3.2, and 2. I add that up, I get 6.3. Add the half to it, I get 6.8. I take that integer part and I only get the 6. This one's not correct. So one of their examples is working and the other does not. So now we have to go down through all of their multiple choice options and figure out which one is the one that best explains what happened here. And part A says it works for all of them. Well, that's not true because this example over here didn't work. Part B says it works for integers or decimals when they're greater than a half. I'd say yes, that worked because that was this scenario over here. So we're just going to read the rest of them to see. This one says it doesn't work and I need to cast it to an int. So if I do that, if I cast the numbers to an int beforehand, I end up with 10, and that doesn't work because we wanted 11. This one down here doesn't work. They say cast the min length to a double. So if I cast a 6.8, that'll be a 6. And that's not what they wanted for that problem. It should have been a 7. So this one doesn't work either. And then finally, E says it doesn't work for anything. Well, that's not true because it worked for this one. So the best option is B. Finally, the last problem is number 12. I think a lot of you are forgetting this integer division in computer land. So fact 1, we're supposed to take 1 divided by 2. Again, this is integer division. So 1 divided by 2 is 0. One of these needs to be a double in order for this to work. And I didn't write down what answer that was, and I don't have it up anymore. But whatever one that is, one of them needs to be a double. So that's it for that. If you have any more questions, please let me know. I think eventually I might have you guys actually try and record yourselves somewhere along the line, but maybe a few weeks out yet. So hope everyone's doing well. Stay healthy. Bye.